Welcome to another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hennett, and my making these audios is the only value that I can share and leave in the world. It's the only thing that's worth anything. To be spiritually awake, to see through the veil of lies of the matrix, and just to know that every single thing that you have lived is a GD lie, a goddamn lie. If you are on a 1,000-watt Bobby Hemmett frequency, you know that. Like, the world is topsy-turvy, mixed up, crazy. And I'm not just talking about the trendy behaviors of people. I'm talking about how the entire world operates. The artificial systems of money, the artificial concept of lack. Like there's not enough resources. The oil will run out. The water will run out. Overpopulation. I need to pay $3 for a mango. This stop sign means stop. The entire thing is a slave system put on society. None of this stuff is true. You have to pay taxes, you have to pay for a license, there's ordinances, there's laws, there's this, there's that. You know what the mark of the beast is? And I'm just going to jump to something else because I really want this to be 5 minutes. The mark of the beast is your social security number, boys and girls. Because that number, in case you didn't know, that number turned you as a person into a corporation. And actually, I learned this over 10 years ago. And I understand the whole concept, but it's like, you're fighting the beast, so you can't really. It takes some great tenacity to fight this system. You would have to go to court, you have to file a lot of papers, you have to do a lot of affidavits. You're going to be a target for the government and the Roman soldiers of the government, which is anybody employed by the government, including teachers, because they don't know what they're doing. And I'm in the field of education. They don't know that system is a system to dumb you down and, make you feel like you don't know anything. And you're learning such frivolous nonsense. Splitting up numbers and doing decimals and square roots. And it is a circus. But anyway, your social security number is the mark of the beast. You might not be able to research videos on this anymore, but I'm going to try to summarize it. When you, and language also is like, it's a system of spells, okay? Spells and agreements that have double and triple meaning, and they have a layman's meaning, and then they have a fake legal meaning, which they wrote on paper and created laws to entrap you in contracts. So that is the magic, actually. The laws and contracts are the magic, but you don't know what those terms really mean, and you're using it every day. Like the word person is going to mean something. Citizen is going to mean something. So because they created the system, and they're the ones defining what the words mean, they are entrapping you and you don't know it. So it's just a fake overlay to take over your life. So going back to the Social Security number. When you're born, you're born free, actually. You know, there's a movie called Born Free. Now I know why. You're born free. However, they take you from your mother, and they give you a birth certificate. And that birth certificate actually is a death certificate. It actually is a death certificate. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not going to explain it. I'm not even going to explain it. It's actually a death certificate, which means that free person died, or was lost at sea. Okay, because there's some language around birthing and things like that are the terminology used for seamen, the ocean, and nobody can own the ocean. That's the only thing that can't be owned. So if you were lost, if you were free on the ocean through your mother's womb, the womb is like an ocean, okay? Then they said that you died, that you were lost at sea. And then they create basically they create, let me think. They create like a trust in your name as a corporation. So they turn you into a corporation on paper. And then they are the guardians of the corporation. They are the agents of the corporation. That's point number 1. And point number 2 is that in the natural, free world that you were actually born in, the government is there to serve you, and the land and resources are yours naturally. Like where you were born, that is your home, your land, and whatever comes up from that land is yours. So whatever trees are on there, mountains, whatever, the rivers, whatever's inside the earth, the oil, which is, by the way, boys and girls, the oil is everywhere. It is the blood of the earth. It is the same as your melanin. So there isn't just pocket areas that there's oil. Oil is everywhere. You are the earth in a human form. And the earth is the natural elements. So blood is everywhere, okay? Anyway, you just have to dig deep enough for it and have the right equipment. So anyway, you became a corporation, and that's what the Social Security number is. You have riches based on just being born on the land, and that land is yours. The government monetizes the land value of whatever you, wherever you were born, which actually is a tribe, and, you're the so-called Indian. Whatever could be made from that land, they turned all that into a money value system. That is yours, but they're the agents of it. So now, whenever you go to buy something, you always have a middleman agent. That agent is like, he's just like he's the middleman. Just like a celebrity has a marketing agent and they have a PR agent, there's always like somebody in the middle instead of you directly working with, another business. So when you want to buy a house, there's an agent. They get money They 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 charge you for what is actually yours already. The house is yours already because it's on the land of probably where you were born, or the government, your value is so high because your value is the land of where you came from, and they created a money system for that. So you are the land. You own the land. But instead of you owning the land, they created a fake paper money system. And then they're holding the contracts or the ownership of the land. And then they make you work for money to pay for something that's already yours. Now, I know that sounds complicated, but just slow it down, listen to it again. And I'm going to review it again, even though this is not even what I was going to talk about. Point number 1 is that you are born from a womb that is water. No one owns you. The ocean is also a womb of water. Nobody owns the ocean. That's the only thing no government can own. The waterways are free. So, when you were born from your mother, when you were birthed, they take you away and they slap a social security number on you. And they document a birth certificate, which actually is a certificate of death. They will say that you were lost at sea. Now, if you were born without them, and ancient people were born on the land, you own wherever you lived. So whatever resources are on the land, those are yours. The rivers, the streams, the waterfalls, the trees, whatever the earth can bring forth for you, the oil, the gems, the jewels, whatever is inside the earth of that land that is yours, got converted into a fake paper money system. So they took away your rights of ownership by birth of the land that you're on. And they wrote out a piece of paper that said when you were born that you don't exist anymore, but we made a corporate name for you, and we'll take over your accounts. We'll take over the ownership of the land value. And we created a paper system, a money system, contracts and all this stuff, so that we own the land that you were born on. And the value of land is perpetual. Land will always give you value. You don't need, you could buy concrete or something, but you don't need that. You can build whatever you need from land. You use the wood, you use the mud, you make your own concrete, you use the power of the sun, you get the water from the rivers, you get the water from the air, you collect rainwater, you use fire. I mean, all of those things are given to you. And if you want to trade with somebody, okay, you can go grow crops and trade with people or whatever. Get some animals or whatever. Land value always has perpetual value and increased value. They took over your ownership. They considered you as dead, and they created a whole fake system that overlaid the natural free existence of every human being. And it's the Social Security number. Now they charge you for what is already yours. A money value for the land. So you already have you have like a bank account based on the value of the land that you were born on. And then they are charging you in order to buy back land, a house, anything. Because the value of your land that you were born on can cover any stupid little expense that you ever want. Something from the store, fucking internet. What is that, $80 compared to the value of land? So that's the game, boys and girls. And to be honest, I never understood it until right now that I'm speaking. I watched videos on it, but it didn't internalize. The logic didn't internalize, but now I got the logic. It's very simple. You are a free person born on the land of wherever you were born. That land is supposed to be yours. Point blank, period. That's it. They created a money system and the concepts of birth certificates and things to take away people's land. Currently, if you challenge that, or currently the value of your land that you were born on, can pay for anything that you ever wanted. It could pay for a car, a printer, a computer, all of these stupid electronics things that people want and need. I mean, imagine if you had a bank account right now that totaled the value of the land that you lived in, the state, a whole state that you lived in. Now they cut it up more into counties, but really it's the whole state. So if you get that understanding, boys and girls, you know that we live in a land of slavery, exploitation, and lies. So that ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmett. I'm just sharing the knowledge. And you should be hating this world. You know? But the unfortunate thing is the illusion of money. Because people think that gives you an illusion. You get caught up in the buying, the selling, the spending, the having. And you don't know that you're caught in a web. You're caught in a web. And see, the thing is also is that they are crushing that money system now. Because they're just like, fuck this capitalism. Bring everybody back down to a fucking peasant. Bring everybody back down to illiteracy. That is what's happening in the schools. That ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmett. And it's not just black schools. It's system-wide. Schools are being destroyed. The entire concept of schools are being destroyed. I'm talking about on the elementary level. And that ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmett. And I am going to, you will increase in consciousness at whatever level you are at. And if you're on the 1,000-watt Bobby Hemmett frequency, you know what to be thinking about the beast. You need to relinquish the desire for dealing with this world or whatever's going on here and say it's finished. It got to be destroyed. The beast has to be destroyed. You have to confess that. It's a confession. You know, as the God that I am, I summon the powers of destruction within me to destroy the beast and this earth realm. The end.